Bro, whose fault is it? There's something you really want to do in life, yet you keep on making these valid excuses. Yeah, I know your excuse was valid. Stop making those. You should despise having a valid excuse. Whenever you want to do something and you don't end up doing it, and you say to yourself, I had a good reason though, right? I needed to help my mom. I had to, right? I had a good reason, right? I had a funeral to go to. I had to go, right? It's an excuse, but look, it's valid. What would you do in my shoes? When you talk to yourself like this, you're familiarizing yourself with making excuses and you don't even know it. The more things you want in life, the more obstacles come in your way. So when you're making these valid excuses and familiarizing yourself with making excuses, you're gonna start looking for the valid excuses to stop doing whatever it is you should be doing. What are valid excuses? In other words, valid excuses are excuses that are okay, right? They're accepted, right? They're excuses that are undeniably accepted, right? You can't do anything different. You have to do them. You have priorities. For instance, I said going to a funeral. I had to go to the funeral, right? But the thing is, you going to the funeral wasn't the reason you didn't do your homework, right? You going to the funeral wasn't the reason you didn't do your homework. And that's a tough pill to swallow. Now, what am I trying to say? You can prevent having excuses at all. Despite them being valid, there's oftentimes a way to prevent the obstruction of your goal. So if you have to do your homework, for instance, and the teacher tells you today, look, I need y'all to get this into me 12 o'clock tonight. And you go to the teacher and you're like, I have a funeral to go to. I can't go. I can't do my homework tonight. 9 times out of 10, the teacher's gonna say, okay, get it to me tomorrow. But a lot of y'all wanna have a valid excuse not to do your homework. So instead of going and talking to the teacher and saying, look, I got something to do tonight. I'm not gonna do your homework tonight. I need to go be there with my family. I need to hold my mom while she mourns. I need to mourn. I need to grieve tonight. You'll just sit back and say nothing. You're gonna go home. You're gonna be like, I can't do my homework today. Well, I have a funeral. So if the teacher doesn't like it, forget about him, right? Forget about how he feels. He doesn't understand. He doesn't know what I'm going through. He doesn't know what's going on. He has a life too. He should understand. He shouldn't, take points off, right? He shouldn't give me a bad grade on that. But if you would have just went to the teacher and told them these things before you even had to have this excuse in your mind, you would have had a way out. So instead of having that way out, right, a way to minimize the pressure that you feel in your life, you go to school tomorrow with an empty sheet of homework, you face the teacher, you hand it to him, and he takes it, he or she, and he or she grades the work 0, 50, 60. Now you literally could have avoided that by just going yesterday, saying, teacher, look, I got this to do. I got ABC. I'm not gonna do your homework tonight. Some of y'all try. You might say, yeah, I do that. But y'all say it so passive, like y'all say it so weak. Look, I'm gonna literally tell you how you say it. Most likely, look, you walk up to the teacher. Uh, I have a funeral to go to tonight, and the teacher looks back at you like, so what? On the car ride to the funeral, do your homework, right? 12 o'clock at night, get up and do your homework, right? 10:30. What time are you gonna be home? That's probably one of the first questions they ask you. What time are you gonna get home? Well, you can do your homework. 6 o'clock, you can do your homework. So immediately, the teacher's gonna start creating solutions to your open-ended like statement, right? And you're gonna feel like discouraged. You're gonna feel like, wow, I really didn't want to do that. Because you didn't want to do it. If you really trying to pursue something and you're feeling this pressure crowd you in your life, you should not be creating valid excuses. You should be taking preventative measures for your life. Forget about the excuses, whether they're valid or invalid. Take precautionary measures instead of trying to find valid excuses. Some of y'all look for them. Right? You'll go to the teacher and say, well, I can't do my homework. Right? The teacher will be like, what time you get home? I get home at like 10:30. I'm gonna be home at 11. She's gonna be like, do your homework. Right? Do it. You could turn it in at 1. I'm not gonna count points off. But then you're gonna come up with something else. Well, I'm gonna be tired. I'm gonna probably fall asleep on a car right there. Like, you're gonna start creating excuses immediately. I know it. I see it in your face. You're gonna start making excuses off the jump. So if you really need to use some of your time to do something different, right? You have a different priority. Look, yes, I'm gonna get home at 7:30, but that doesn't mean I can do your work. I have to do something. I have priorities, right? Maybe there's something more important in life. There is more important things than doing schoolwork. You might need to sit down with your mom and talk to her, right? You might be the only person in her life. Your sister's life, your brother's life. You might need to get home at 7:30. You're not finna do homework. You're finna sit down with your family and be like, look, let's talk. But some of y'all don't even want to do that. Some of y'all want to go home. You know you're gonna get home at 11. And instead of doing your homework, you're gonna fall asleep right away. When you could do your homework. Okay, sure. You can't do your homework. Just too tired. Don't work like that. Whatever you got in your life, whatever excuse you got, valid or not. All right, whatever. Look, this is where you go from there. When you walk up to your teacher, instead of saying, "Oh, I have a funeral to go to tonight. I got a game tonight. I'm gonna get home late. I got a football match. I'm gonna be out all day. I'm gonna be helping my mom with this and that." Go to your teacher, look him or her in their eyes, and say, "I cannot do your work tonight. I'm going to a funeral. That's my priority." And you don't even need to add that in. I'm gonna make it better. Actually, you don't even have to say cannot, right? Because you can. Let's be real. You can do your homework. You can find time, right? Whenever you leave in school, you have at least 15 minutes. Everyone 15 minutes, right? Unless you're walking, whatever, right? But when you're leaving school, if you're a bus rider, a car rider, there's no excuse for you not being able to do it, right? Because you have 15 minutes. Some things you might not be able to do, of course, obviously. But you have 15 minutes at least. You can get something done, more than the 0. But look, I'm going to make that better, though. You walk up to your teacher, look him or her in their eyes, and tell them, don't say, oh, I can't. Tell them, I'm not going to do your homework tonight. Now, there's a few ways that's going to go. They're going to be like, what do you mean? Right? Let's say, what do you mean? If they say, what do you mean? Let's bring up the funeral. I'm going to continue with that. I like that. I'm going to a funeral with my family. I'm going to be helping my mom grieve, my brother grieve, my sister grieve, my dad grieve. So tonight is not the best night for me to make homework my priority. Now, if that means I'm gonna have to take a failing grade on this assignment, then I'm gonna have to do that. Otherwise, I would plead with you, help me out, right? I would plead with you, please allow me to do this work tomorrow instead. I will get it done to the best of my ability. I'll make sure I offer you something that you'll be proud of grading. Literally, right? And I'm in high school, so as I say that, I'm thinking about college, right? They don't play that. You know, forget about your funeral, forget about your family, you know. But if this not for you, it's not for you. Look, I'm speaking out of my perspective, right? It's always open for everyone else to talk about. If it's not for you, it's not for you. I get it. But look, some of y'all, this is for. Some of y'all create these scenarios for yourself, and it sucks. Some of y'all have horrible teachers, and you don't know how to play around them. You don't know how to play your hand. I'm learning how to play my hand too, but from what I learned, if you're assertive with whoever you're speaking to, not even just your teacher, if you're assertive to them, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna see that you're serious about whatever it is. They're gonna see that whatever you're doing is more serious than your career. It's more serious than school. Right? That's another thing. You gotta start figuring out what's the most serious thing in your life. Figure out what the purpose of your life is. Right? Figure out what you're supposed to be doing. Then everything else is gonna fall in line. Because if your purpose is to become a doctor, you're in college. Of course, you're gonna have a valid excuse. Look, I can't turn this assignment in late. I have to do it today. They're gonna create all these excuses. But most likely, you already knew what day the funeral was on. So if you knew what day the funeral was on 3 days before, I bet you could have made some kind of precautionary measure so that you could either get it done sooner with help of some sort, or get it done late with some exception. Instead, you say I had to fail the class because I had a funeral to go to. Couldn't do nothing. A lot of y'all can't do anything. That's your issue. Yes, you can. You gotta start thinking ahead, planning ahead, solving ahead. Be assertive with your words. Don't let other people solve your situation for you. Take help. Be wise with the help that you take, though. That'll help a lot of y'all get through whatever you're going through. Put your priorities at the top. Like me, if I had some homework to do, but I know I gotta help my mom grieve, I'm gonna go straight up to the teacher. Look, I'm not gonna do your assignment tonight. I have a funeral to go to. My mom's the only one that I can really be there for. So I'm gonna be there for her to the best of my ability. Tonight's not gonna be the best night. Can you please allow me to turn in this assignment tomorrow or extend my period a day or two? And if they say no, I just bring it down. All right, well, most likely I'm gonna turn this in incomplete, or I'm gonna turn it in late. Is it better for me to turn it in incomplete or late? I'm gonna take the best option. They say, well, if you turn it in late, it's 20 points off. But if you turn it in incomplete, you could probably get this much done. You'll get at least like a 90. Okay? That's how you work around these things. So start figuring out ways to solve your problems. Start being more assertive. Stop letting life run you over. Stop letting everyone run you down. Stop letting excuses rule over you. Amen.